I rise today in opposition to Obamacare. I rise today in an effort to speak for 26 million Texans and for 300 million Americans. All across this country, Americans are suffering because of Obamacare. Obamacare isn't working. And yet, fundamentally, there are politicians in this body who are not listening to the people. They're not listening to the concerns of their constituents. They're not listening to the jobs lost, to the people forced into part-time work, to the people losing their health insurance, to the people who are struggling. A great many Texans, a great many Americans feel that they don't have a voice. And so I hope to play some very small part in helping provide that voice for them. Madam President, I intend to speak in opposition to Obamacare. I intend to speak in support of defunding Obamacare until I am no longer able to stand, to do everything that I can to help Americans stand together and recognize this grand experiment 3.5 years ago is quite simply not working.
We're diverted totally from what this bill's all about. Why? Why, Mr. President? Because the anarchists have taken over. They've taken over the House, now they're here in the Senate. We're in a position here where people who don't believe in government, and that's what the Tea Party's all about, are winning. That's a shame. There's not been a single amendment allowed to be offered in this legislation that has anything dealing with energy.
Dvornik.
Yeah,
Come here.
what?
What's that?
I don't know.
Look like dog shit to me.
Yeah, looks like dog shit to me too.
It's time for Fully Threaded Radio.
It is Fully Threaded Radio, voice of the FCH Sourcing Network. This is the online, on-demand, predominantly fastener-related podcast where we document, disseminate, and discuss news and events pertaining to the world of industrial fasteners. And we're glad you clicked in. Hey everybody, Eric Dudas here, and a co-host of Fully Threaded Radio is with me as well. Known for his thick Texas accent, he's Brian Musker.
Yeah, I'll just wipe some of the Texas accent away for a moment, okay?
You doing all right, Bri?
Yeah, doing good.
Well, there is so much news swirling around the world in general. Man, you get that feeling that we're on the verge of really big things these days, Brian?
Yes, I do.
I mean, everywhere you look, there's things are just shaking. I mean, you don't have to look too far. You get on the web and the dramas that are playing out in our government, the filibuster earlier this week, and elsewhere in the fastener world, closer to home. Wow.
We live in exciting times, okay?
We do. And we've got an exciting episode of the podcast for you today, folks. This is episode 71 of Fully Threaded Radio. We're publishing on September 26th, 2013. Well, among other exciting things, we're coming up on the big fastener show out in Las Vegas, and the Women in the Fastener Industry group will be there. Joining us from WIFI, Pam Berry and Jennifer Friel will preview that organization's plans for the big event, which includes a Power Pack panel discussion happening on October 23rd. Details about that are straight ahead. On the Fastener News Report, Mike McNulty talks with North Coast Fastener Association President Marty Nolan. The NCFA has an event coming up in concert with the Fastener Training Institute in November, and this is shaping up to be a huge event, Bri. He's also participating in the newly reconstituted Fastener Industry Coalition, which we reported on previously. And what's happening with this mysterious organization? Marty fills us in. And our feature segment today is a conversation with the Executive Vice President at the Wurth Group. He's Marc Strandquist. Wurth has set some very ambitious objectives for itself, and Marc discusses how he intends to meet them. We touch on several topics during this segment, including the effects of government intervention on the fastener world and the current climate of supplier consolidation. A real big one lately, Bri.
Yeah.
So we thank you all for joining us.
The title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio are Stellfast and Trinity Hardware Headquarters. Stellfast, for service you deserve and people you trust. Trinity Hardware Headquarters, for parts done right. Also, Buckeye Fasteners, Volt Industrial Plastics, and Solution Industries, home of Solution Man. Like any good thing, it takes time, effort, and organisation to produce Fully Threaded Radio, and we thank and are glad to be associated with our sponsors, companies that recognise and reward that effort.
Well spoken, Bri, and we do appreciate all our sponsors and all our listeners. And we'll be right back to get this show on the road. We've got a very strong lineup for you today, folks, so stick around. I'm sure you'll find it worth it.
Oh, that was cheap.
I had to go for it. We'll be right back, folks.
Looking for package fasteners of all kinds? How about specials or unique parts that no one seems to carry? At Trinity Hardware Headquarters, we believe in parts done right, and our new catalogue is available online at trinityhardwarehq.com, featuring over 30,000 different types of fasteners available in package quantities, product kits, and assortments, including hundreds of hard-to-find parts as well as the most popular inch and metric sizes. Trinity Hardware Headquarters has locations throughout the Midwest and South, and over 400,000 square feet of warehouse space with 18 million pounds of fasteners ready to fill your requirements. Our featured products include number 3 and number 7 head plough bolts, grade 5 and grade 8 carriage bolts, hook bolts, tap bolts, and nuts and washers of all kinds, plus much more. Visit our website at www.trinityhardwarehq.com or give Trinity Hardware Headquarters a call at 888-232-1010. Trinity Hardware Headquarters, for parts done right.
When top quality and outstanding service are at the top of your list in fastener suppliers, turn to Stellfast. Since 1976, Stellfast has grown to become an industry-leading importer and manufacturer of the highest quality industrial fasteners, specialty items, and automotive parts. Our array of facilities across North America and in Asia, along with full quality control labs and ISO 9001-2008 certifications, ensure the highest quality parts, and at Stellfast, they're delivered with undisputed service excellence. We're family-run and dedicated to your success. Our customers have come to depend on the expertise of our staff and the quality of our products. We also offer a wide range of secondary services to meet some of the toughest requirements you might have. Contact Stellfast today through our website at www.stellfast.com and put us to work for you. Stellfast. Service you deserve, people you trust.
Since 1905, Buckeye Fasteners and the Ohio Nut and Bolt Company have been supplying the world with high-quality fasteners. Our standard product lines include weld fasteners, braided weld screws, leg levelers, self-clinching hardware, clevis pins, rivet nuts, and various other fastener lines, allowing us to support virtually all types of industries. We have complete custom manufacturing capabilities in low carbon, medium carbon, and stainless steel materials, and our quality systems are registered to ISO standards. Our on-staff engineering department can assist you with product development and provide total technical support. Our knowledgeable sales team members offer superior customer service and are here to answer any questions you may have regarding our products. Having a hard time finding a part? Let our sourcing specialists do the work for you to locate those items. We offer competitive pricing with typically smaller minimums and shorter lead times. To find out more about Buckeye Fasteners, please call us at 800-437-1689 or on the web at buckeyefasteners.com. Buckeye Fasteners, more than just weld.
My customer sent me a print for a bolt specifically for the machine in his shop, but we can't make it.
Solution Man can. Provide me with a print, and my superhuman CNC machining team will custom make it for you faster than a manufacturer's rep drinking at an open bar. Visit the Solution Industries website for details at solutionind.com.
Wow, that is fast.
So are you at the Distributive Social, huh?
Hi there, this is Jim Zender with Trinity Logistics, and you are listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
Brian and Eric back with you. So I had such a head of steam after the last episode, Brian, that I went ahead and upgraded my iPhone. I got the new iOS 7. We can talk about that a little bit. I'm sure Fully Threaded listeners will be thrilled to hear our impressions of that so far.
Well, based on statistics, half the people who have iPhones have done it as well already.
Well, we are a couple of iPhone freaks, that's for sure. And we're also the people who bring you FastenersClearinghouse.com. It's the FCH sourcing network, folks. Get out there whenever you're looking for a hard-to-find part, or you need a fill-in, or you're just looking for a new vendor. Costs you nothing to do that. We'd also be very happy to have you on board with us, using us as a sales channel for your own inventory. Details about that are on the website, FastenersClearinghouse.com. We received some input from a few of our members on this one, Brian, and you made a tweak, and I think it's going to come in real helpful for people in the stainless field particularly.
Right. You know, we were soliciting some comments from some of our users, in fact, some of the long-time members of FCH, about a slightly modified search interface. And during that, we got some very interesting commentary, and one particular from one of our members, MF Supply, Robin Lieberman, suggested that the consolidation we did of the stainless groups need to be rethought, because people who are especially looking for 316 have to deal through all of the other types of ordinary stainless, and 316 is special enough to be dealt with separately. And I spoke to some other members who deal specifically in stainless. They thought that was a good idea. So over the week, we split stainless and added one more type, which is just A4 316 stainless. Okay, that should make things a little cleaner for people who are searching and people who are putting through RFQs.
Very cool. Well, if you have input for us, folks, you're out there using the network, something occurs to you, we'd always be glad to hear it. You can get with us anytime at the email address ftr@fullythreaded.com, or if you see us floating around out there on Twitter, which we do from time to time, under the handle Fully Threaded, that's another way too. Always looking to make things better, Bri.
Right.
And there's another company very interested in expanding and improving, and that is Solution Industries. I just saw the digital version of Link Magazine. The fall 2013 issue was released. I haven't received my hard copy yet as of this recording, but the cover is a striking image of none other than Solution Man.
An outfit you might know quite well.
That's right. There's a story inside that has some pretty exciting news. I won't give away the whole thing yet, but I would highly recommend that people following Solution Industries get out there, because these guys are moving and shaking.
Yeah.
So getting back to the iPhone upgrade then, Brian, did the upgrade move and shake your world, or kind of a new color wallpaper for you? What's your impression?
I think it's more than just a new color wallpaper. I actually like it. When I first looked at it, I didn't like it quite so much. I'm used to more of the colors and so the bland white background stuff, but some aspects of how it works are actually much more logical to me. They've thought out things, and the guy behind the redesign of it is this guy Johnny Ive, who's is regarded as one of the master designers of small devices, let's say, okay? And he's the guy who designed the iPod and the iPhone. So they took away the design of the operating system and gave it to him as well. I think it works well.
I noticed that the government alert setting was switched back to on by default. A little sneaky there.
Right.
I had all that stuff turned off, and so when I did the upgrade, as I was inspecting the results of that, I noticed that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's there's a few new things added to it. Not all of those will be useful to people who are using their phones for business. And I also have picked up the iPhone 5S, which surprisingly came to me a month earlier than it was meant to.
Wow, I heard all those reports that they were all jammed up. That was quick. I was one of those people. Mine was meant to be delivered on the 28th of October, and then I just got a note from AT&T saying it had shipped already. Wow.
So how that happened, I don't know. But I've been embroiled in this fingerprint sensing thing, and I've been watching all the mess over the media, and the talking heads it's just so stupid, okay? They've forgotten what this is meant to do. They're trying to work out that it's not a, something that the NSA is going to have trouble decoding. It's simply a replacement for the 4-digit unlocking code. And, as you know, if you start off at 0000 and go up to 9999, it'll only take you a day to unlock anything. So it's not meant to be the answer to, security. It actually works quite well.
So I'm guessing you're going to be preening around in Las Vegas because you'll have your new phone.
Well, it's a change to have no. But it's a change to have a phone that I don't have to, every 3 hours rush away and recharge.
Yes, we covered that. The other thing that I didn't expect was they changed the voices that come out of the iPhone and the ringtones too, the default one at least. You get used to the way your phone sounds, and then all of a sudden it's different. I don't know. I kind of like it. She sounds a little less friendly, though, I got to say. She sounds a little bit more like somebody who would be wearing like a crisp business suit.
Right. Well, as you know, they also Siri is now longer in beta, and so maybe that's why they thought she's a little bit more business-like. You're right. It's not quite the sort of the friendly accent that used to be there. It's like a switchboard operator.
Yeah. A little more icy, I would say, less bubbly. Oh, well, we'll get used to it. But there's the big news from Apple.
Oh, yeah, and I have to tell you that the new Siri is much better at decoding my deep Texan accent than it used to be.
Well, that's a relief. Man, I was worried about that.
That was very, very much of a concern, actually.
Big news. So, Bri, the other big news, or I don't know if it's big news, but it's a big event kind of looming over all of us, and we're all anticipating it greatly, is NIFS that's coming up pretty shortly, and we're in booth 1704 this year. Looking forward to it?
Yes, I am, actually, because I think we've got a slightly better placement than we normally get. We're normally stuck by a pillar or something.
Well, I hate to say that I'm the one to blame for that, but I am. It's, my built-in procrastination. But this year I acted proactively, and I got us in with I think a pretty good group, and it's going to be great to be out there. That, of course, happening October 23rd through the 25th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there's another group that's going to be heading out there as well. We've talked about them previously on Fully Threaded, and that's WIFI, Women in the Fastener Industry, here to help us to understand what they're all about at the NIFS show this year are two members, and they are Pam Berry with Advanced Components and Jennifer Friel with Midwest Fabricating. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have both of you guys back. You're both veterans of Fully Threaded, so you know how it rolls around here, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys out in Vegas.
We're excited to be there.
What's new with Wi-Fi, and what do you have lined up for us this time around?
Well, we're really excited about our 4th annual Wi-Fi speaker series and networking event. It's going to be on the 23rd at 2 to 4 p.m. And this year, our theme is making an impact in the fastener industry. And we're going to have a panel of 5 dynamic women in the industry, and Jennifer will be our moderator. And it should be a really great event. We're going to have a networking event, and we're also going to have a raffle with some really great prizes. But I think the panel is what's really going to draw people in, because these women are really leaders in the industry, and I think they'll have a lot of really interesting conversations, and people can ask questions, and it should be dynamic.
Now, presumably this is open to people other than just other women in the Wi-Fi. Do you encourage men in the fastener industry to turn up too?
I think it would be wonderful if we had some men that turned up for this panel discussion. While the panel is made up of all women, the women who are going to be panelists represent really kind of end-to-end in the fastener industry. So we've got manufacturers, we have distributors, we have importers, we have people who import and distribute, and we also have representation from a sales rep. So, and really if you look at where these businesses are located, it's really all over the country. So I think the main topic that we have identified that we're going to start with is organizational innovation in the fastener industry. And as the moderator, I'm going to be asking each one of the ladies on the panel to talk about the things that they're doing in their organizations that are innovative. And I think anybody in the industry probably can come and learn from some people like Simi. I know everybody says she's the rock star in the industry. I want to hear what she has to say. And, I was just reading not too long ago in Forbes magazine, they had an article in there about women-led companies. And this isn't specific to Wi-Fi or the fastener industry, but there was a study that was done by American Express. And they found since 2002 that women-owned firms have grown by almost 57%, whereas if you take the whole footprint of businesses over that same time, 10 million in sales plus, the rest of the businesses grew by about 38%. So if you compare the 57% growth rate to the 38% growth rate according to this study and the statistics that they had, women-owned firms perform much better than the men. I hate to say it, but apparently it's factual based on this data. So I would think any man in the fastener industry might want to come and hear what some of these leading ladies have to say about what they're doing to innovate in their businesses.
Okay, that sounds fair to me.
That's a shocking statistic. I don't know. I suddenly have these pangs of inadequacy. I don't know.
Well, I think the bottom line is that we can all learn from one another.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Jennifer, and thanks for pointing that out. I feel a lot better now. Now, we know that the event is open to non-Wi-Fi members and also non-women, shall we say, males and others. Who else is on the panel? You mentioned Simi. Who else do you have this year on the panel?
We have Shauna Clark from Big Red Fasteners, and she's all about distribution. We have Janet Chiopita at Great Lakes Fasteners, and she's in importing and distribution. And we have Beth Van Zant of Desert Distribution, and she's a manufacturer's rep. So it's a great, strong panel.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. I have a little bit of experience participating in these things and moderating, and I'm sure you're going to do an excellent job, Jennifer. My one piece of advice to you would be avoid jokes about hydrogen embrittlement at all costs.
Oh, wow, yeah. I'm not going to bring that up.
Okay.
We had a recent little brush with that at Midwest not too long ago. So that's a 4-letter word, that hydrogen embrittlement word. We want to stay away from that one.
Okay.
Well, that Wednesday before the show is really the day when these types of events happen. And, a lot of people do get involved with these, but a lot of people overlook it, I think. And this event, as well as others that might be happening, I have to admit I haven't really scoured the schedule yet, but I think people should really carefully consider attending because it's well worth showing up a couple of hours early and getting involved. I mean,
I agree, and for only $25, it's a bargain too. I mean, you'll have a great chance to meet other women and men in the industry, and also participate in our raffle where all the funds go to our scholarships. And Wi-Fi scholarships are a real big part of our organization because one of our scholarships, the winner to the Fastener Training Institute, and then the second scholarship sends the recipient to the Vegas Expo. So these are great opportunities for the women who do get these scholarships, and it's a great way to just, educate someone who you might work with.
I think one of the great things about the Wi-Fi organization is it started out on LinkedIn, really, and has grown to this organization of 450 folks. You have to love social media. Social media can get people together so much more easily than any other thing beforehand. I've been in the industry now 20 years. And what Wi-Fi is doing, its mission is to connect women in the fastener industry, and part of the panel at the end is going to be a Q&A session where anybody in the audience would have an opportunity to ask anyone on the panel any questions they might have. And as a moderator, that's always my favorite part, is I love to hear the questions from the audience, because you get all these really great stories and information out of folks that even as a moderator you can possibly think of coming up with. And Wi-Fi does a great job with these scholarships. Not only are they connecting people, but they're giving back to the industry and supporting young women in the industry, which is a tremendous thing for us all to do. As we all know, attracting young people into manufacturing, into distribution, and into some of these businesses like we have and we make our money on, somehow have become unattractive in general society. So anything that we can do to support getting young people interested, I'm all for it. So I congratulate Wi-Fi on what they've been able to do.
Well said. Once again, the event we're discussing is happening at this year's Vegas Fastener Show on October 23rd. It's at 2 p.m., right, ladies?
Yes.
That's correct.
You can get information about the event on our website, but to register, you have to go to fastenershows.com.
Now, Brian, you and I are known to attend a Wi-Fi event on occasion, and
yes, we have. Yeah,
we've got some pretty good pictures from these things over the years. Now, I have to ask you this. We've been talking with traveling salesmen, as well as others, about another event kind of happening in concert with the Vegas show this year, and I'm curious if either of you two made it out last year to the Bourbon Room. Did you hit that one, ladies?
I did, yes. It was quite a scene.
I did not. I missed the Bourbon Room. Actually, they told me I wasn't allowed to come because they thought I would drink more than my quotient. No, I'm kidding.
I would have thought that's nearly a prerequisite rather than a reason not to be there.
Yeah, no, I didn't make it last year. I had to miss the show last year, unfortunately. My daughter's a competitive synchronized swimmer, and she had an event taking place, so I didn't get to make it out to the show last year, but I'm very excited to come this year, and my husband, Mike Friel from Hayden Bolts, is going to be coming as well, so anybody in the Bourbon Room better watch out for him. That's all I have to say.
Right on. That's the attitude. You get them.
Okay.
It's beginning to sound like this year's Bourbon Room event is going to even top last year. And, of course, last year was the maiden voyage. But I think the industry as a whole, and I've heard this from a lot of different people, but ever since the Columbus show went away, and I never made it out to any of the heyday Columbus shows. I made it out to I think it was the second to the last one, actually. But people missed that camaraderie that was experienced in the after party. And I think this is kind of filling the gap.
I agree.
Oh, Columbus in his heyday was something else. There's no doubt about it.
Jennifer, do you have any pictures?
No, I don't have any pictures. I require all pictures like that to be destroyed. So
right,
I can't bring any incriminating information. I'm not going to incriminate my friends and family in any way.
I would think that would be also a prerequisite.
Oh.
Put all cell phones in a big bucket by the door so no one has a camera.
Right. In Columbus, that was probably before cell phones and smart cameras and everything, and that's where Vegas is a little different. You have to be a little more careful.
You got that right, Pam. It's much harder to keep things in Vegas and make them stay in Vegas, and I think everybody has that in mind. However, having said that, I think it's going to be a fantastic Bourbon Room event again this year, and from the sound of it, the Wi-Fi event is going to be wonderful too. How long is this event again? It's 2 hours long?
Yes, it is. It's from 2 to 4 on Wednesday, October 23rd, so it's actually the day before the show officially opens, but you can have an opportunity to come in early, do some networking, and have some fun. I believe there's a cocktail party afterwards, so you can do even additional networking. But it is on the 23rd before the show starts, so we hope everyone will come and support Wi-Fi.
And Pam, once again, the place to register for this
is fastenershows.com.
Yeah, well, I think I'll try again. I'll get there. I've got to do a bit of booth setting up first, like a lot of people, and then I'll be free. It's good. I look forward to it.
Speaking of booths, we also have a booth at the show, booth 1504.
Advanced Components is in 1504 this year?
No, Wi-Fi is 1504. Advanced Components is 1103.
Thank you for pointing that out, because I was wondering, where do I go to get my hot sauce?
Right. Advanced Components will be at booth 1103. We'll have product samples, engineering advice, and our famous Texas hot sauce.
Right on.
And Wi-Fi will be in booth 1504, where we will be there handing out applications and mints and water and everything else. And we're also sponsoring the ladies' restrooms again.
An encore performance. I was going to ask you that, Pam. Now, that went over pretty well last year, didn't it?
Everyone enjoyed it. I mean, it's, a great gathering place, and you can moisturize and get a breath mint and go back out on the show.
That's very important too.
Especially for certain people. They know those breath mints come in handy. Especially on Friday. Well, ladies, this is all shaping up to be quite exciting, and I think we're all really looking forward to this edition of the Fastener Show.
Eric, if I could cut in for a second, I would like to give a big shout out to a dear friend of mine, Kathleen Ferry. I knew her and her husband, Jeff, before he passed away. They're with Telefast, and she has recently retired from the organization, and I just want to tell her congratulations on a wonderful career, and I wish her the very best in her retirement. And Telefast is a great company, recently acquired by the Elgin Group. And I'm just really, really proud of her and what she's accomplished as a woman in the industry. And she's just a dear person and a great friend. And so congratulations to her. And I hope she enjoys her retirement, seeing all of her kids.
Hey, thanks for pointing that out, Jennifer. Hats off to her. And, of course, we've watched that unfold and everything that's going on with Elgin. And we were watching Telefast closely before that all unfolded. So great story. Great Fastener story.
Yeah.
Well, Pam Berry, you're with Advanced Components. You're also with Wi-Fi. And Jennifer Friel, you'll be moderating this event coming up in October at the Fastener Show. You're with Midwest Fabricating. We thank you both for joining us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Well, look forward to seeing you there.
And we'll be right back with more Fully Threaded Radio.
Talk radio for the fastener industry. It's not really all that bad for the most part. Brian and Eric, Fully Threaded Radio.
FastenersClearinghouse.com. Search and source from over 500,000 line items, all just a mouse click away and available at no charge. When the need arises, you won't find a better place to locate hard-to-find fastener inventory. It's where you need to be.
This is Joe Truckee of Cal Fasteners, and Fasteners Clearinghouse works for us.
This is Robert Wanzer, and Fasteners Clearinghouse works for American Imperial.
This is Andy Pell from ScrewCrew.com, and FCH works for the fastener industry.
Join the sourcing network now and show your inventory to a whole new market. Turn slow movers into cash. List up to 10,000 line items. Show them to distributors only or to the world. FastenersClearinghouse.com. It's where you need to be.
For a selection of hundreds of thousands of fasteners, check out your local Fastenal store or Fastenal.com. We can stock domestic or internationally sourced product locally and keep your bin stock filled for you at no additional expense. We are a 9001-2008 certified company that's made a huge investment in quality control so you don't have to. And if you can't find it on our shelf, we can make it for you at the quantity you need at one of our many manufacturing facilities. Learn more by contacting your local Fastenal store or visiting Fastenal.com today.
When top quality and outstanding service are at the top of your list in fastener suppliers, turn to Stelfast. Since 1976, Stelfast has grown to become an industry-leading importer and manufacturer of the highest quality industrial fasteners, specialty items, and automotive parts. Our array of facilities across North America and in Asia, along with full quality control labs and ISO 9001-2008 certifications, ensure the highest quality parts, and at Stelfast, they're delivered with undisputed service excellence. We're family-run and dedicated to your success. Our customers have come to depend on the expertise of our staff and the quality of our products. We also offer a wide range of secondary services to meet some of the toughest requirements you might have. Contact Stelfast today through our website at www.stelfast.com and put us to work for you. Stelfast. Service you deserve, people you trust.
Hey, this is Tracy Lehman from Pacific Warehouse Sales, and you're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
So, Bri, we've met yet another Fastener dog lover.
Right.
Talking with Jennifer Friel after the segment for a little while, turns out not only is she a Fastener dog lover, but she's got something in common with Jack the Fastener dog.
Yeah, they both got zapped by skunks.
It's amazing. I don't recall ever running into so many people in such a short amount of time. You know, I guess your Fastener dog gets zapped with a skunk. You talk to people about it, and then it's more widely happening than you were previously aware. But we told everybody that Jack got zapped on the last episode. Well, it happened again.
Right, and it's the same with multiple dogs in the street, and there's probably 10 dogs, all of whom be zapped in the last 2 weeks here.
What is it? Are you having an outbreak of skunks out in your neighborhood, or what?
Well, it could be. And also there's one lives in the property next door, which is a problem because Jack doesn't like it there. So there is true. And there's a thing in the television news a couple of nights ago about one of the suburbs in northern Chicago that they have got skunks everywhere. They're trying to, the local town is trying to get rid of them, actually.
Well, my guess is we're going to start to see the owl populations go back up. For a while, there were a lot of owls and no skunks, and I don't think I've seen an owl in your neighborhood for a while.
No, I heard one the other night, actually, but I haven't seen one here for a while. Yes, I look forward to them coming back, too.
I'd be surprised if they don't start appearing in wider numbers very soon.
Good, because they love skunks.
Now, unlike you, who got rid of the terrible skunk odor all over Jack using diet soda, Jennifer, she flies at a different class. I think she just had the whole thing done professionally.
Well, I didn't want to stick Jack in the garage for the night, and it meant we had to deal with it somehow.
Well, it was good to talk to Jennifer Friel and Pam Berry, and we'll look forward to seeing them out at the big show in Vegas coming up.
Yeah.
No word yet on Andy Pelz, if he'll be attending this year. I think there's yet another reason to feel the excitement and the suspense.
Right. Yeah, he could be MIA because I sent him a couple of emails, and either I've been taken off his friends list or something because I haven't heard a peep out of him.
Well, my guess is he is selling his face off and business is strong. So that's Andy Pelz.
Okay.
Another one of our friends from the West Coast. Congratulations go to Tracy Lehman of Pacific Warehouse Sales. She was elected as the incoming and now current president of the Pacific West Fastener Association.
Oh, good.
Yeah, now Mike McNulty, who is coming up momentarily, will have more information about Pac West and all the new officers coming in. But hats off to you, Tracy. I know you'll do a great job.
Yep.
Pac West, of course, just completed their fall conference up there in Vancouver. And I got the word from Vicki Lester, executive director over there, that they had a real blast during their curling event.
Right. Okay.
Which I don't know too much about curling, but looking at the pictures, it's, I guess, kind of like hockey, but you use brooms and you don't have to ice skate. So it'd be great for uncoordinated people like me.
Standing on ice is a trial for most people, including me.
Yeah, I guess they had a little bit of a screamer. The original facility they'd booked canceled out on them, and they had to go to work in short order and find another facility. But apparently it all worked out in the end. They had two different leagues of teams. One league was the Moose League, and the other was the Beaver League. I don't know, I was quietly rooting for the Moose, but I'm glad I didn't put any money down because you guessed it, the Beavers, they took the day.
Okay. Do beavers have ears?
We're not getting into that one again, Brian.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I don't know if Mike McNulty has any coverage on that in the Fastener News, so I just figured I'd throw that out.
Okay.
And before we get to the Fastener News, let's thank our sponsor, Volt Industrial Plastics. They, again, are supporting this segment. And, of course, all our other great sponsors, Stelfast, Trinity Hardware Headquarters, Buckeye Fasteners, Fastenal, and Solution Industries.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And here he is, the hyper-fastener-focused Mike McNulty.
Thanks, Eric and Brian. This is Mike McNulty from Fastener Technology International Magazine, bringing you the Fastener News Report, which is sponsored today by Volt Industrial Plastics, makers of the world's finest plastic fasteners. Last Sunday, September 22nd, was a milestone day in Ohio professional sports as the Cleveland Indians, the Cincinnati Reds, the Bengals, and yes, the Cleveland Browns all won on the same day for the first time in 25 years. This was a big day for sports fans like me, but not big enough for me to forget about my focus on fasteners or today's edition of the Fastener News Report. In today's top story, we're going to hear about the industry outreach efforts underway at the North Coast Fastener Association. Also in today's report, we have newsmaker headlines from Annixter Fasteners, Screw Products, Southwest Fastener, the Bolt Company of New Mexico, Wurth Service Supply, the Pacific West Fastener Association, and James Walker Rotobolt. We also have a back page report on truth in numbers. We will get to all of that and the NCFA story right after this.
Volt Industrial Plastics is the source for all your high-quality plastic fastener needs, and customer service is their #1 priority. With almost 1 million fasteners in stock and same-day shipping on stock items, Volt Industrial Plastics carries inventory so you don't have to. Volt manufactures everything in-house from over 125 different materials, and they're proud to say 100% of their products are American-made. And of course, custom tooling and in-house bagging is available. Contact Volt online at www.voltplastics.com. Volt Industrial Plastics, makers of the world's finest plastic fasteners.
Looking for package fasteners of all kinds? How about specials or unique parts that no one seems to carry? At Trinity Hardware Headquarters, we believe in parts done right, and our new catalogue is available online at trinityhardwarehq.com, featuring over 30,000 different types of fasteners available in package quantities, product kits, and assortments, including hundreds of hard-to-find parts as well as the most popular inch and metric sizes. Trinity Hardware Headquarters has locations throughout the Midwest and South, and over 400,000 square feet of warehouse space with 18 million pounds of fasteners ready to fill your requirements. Our featured products include number 3 and number 7 head plow bolts, grade 5 and grade 8 carriage bolts, hook bolts, tap bolts, and nuts and washers of all kinds, plus much more. Visit our website at www.trinityhardwarehq.com or give Trinity Hardware Headquarters a call at 888-232-1010. Trinity Hardware Headquarters, for parts done right.
I know my customers' yearly usage, but I don't have the warehouse space to store it.
Solution Man can. Submit a blanket order and I'll not only set up release dates, I'll offer you bulk pricing too. Visit the Solution Industries website for details at solutionind.com.
You're my fastener superhero.
Just doing my job, ma'am.
Back to the Fastener News Report with Mike McNulty.
Marty Nolan of the RL English Company is the president of the North Coast Fastener Association, and he wrote a nice article for the October issue of Fastener Technology International, which covers the NCFA's outreach efforts and activities not only with NCFA members, but with other fastener industry groups, including PacWest, the IFI, and the Fastener Training Institute. To get some insight on this story, we talked to Marty Nolan. Hi, Marty. Thanks for joining us on the Fastener News Report.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Now, it's kind of hard to get a hold of you. I know you're out of the office today, as I understand. Where are we reaching you at?
You actually caught me. I'm standing outside of Bryant and Cooper Steakhouse in New York City. I'm going to the Yankee game tonight with Vinny Cippone from Richard Mano Company and John Riddell and Don Shan from Solution Industries. So we're doing a little plant tour and going to cap off the night at the Yankees game.
Well, it sounds like you drew the good assignment compared to me and everybody else listening.
Actually, a late lunch, technically, but it's a good meal all the same. And anytime you go eat with Vinny, it's generally a good meal.
That sounds good. And now it's we're getting into playoff time, so should be a good time at the ballpark.
And Mike, I can share this with you. Ironically, normally I couldn't root for the Yankees, but they're playing Tampa Bay this evening. And the Indians are in a wild card race with Tampa Bay, so I can actually go to Yankee Stadium and root for the Yankees and avoid getting beaten up by the other fans. So this is a win-win.
That's good. And for listeners that don't know, Marty's also hailing from Ohio like me. He's a Cleveland Indians and Cleveland Browns fan. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. But
it's our cross to bear, Mike.
Anyways, yeah, let's get back to focusing on fasteners here. But before we get into the details on the North Coast Fastener Association's outreach efforts, what can you tell the listeners about the association itself?
Well, again, we're located, in Northeast Ohio. Been around for a little over 30 years, and had some good growth over the last couple of years. And I think what you and I were talking about at an earlier time was trying to partner with other fastener distributor associate, or not fastener distributor, but other fastener associations, and put our efforts together and come up with some programs where we can do something with some of the other groups.
I know you got a program coming up. That's what we want to talk to you about, coming up with the Fastener Training Institute. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the Fastener Training Institute comes to Cleveland a couple times a year, and back, I think it was in June, I was able to participate and had a real eye-opening experience. I've been in the industry about 28 years, and the instructors, including Carmen, Bertullo, and Salim, I learned a lot. After all the years, it was eye-opening how little I know in a way. And when I heard that they were coming back to Cleveland in November for another Fastener Training Institute, I asked them if they would be willing to come to the North Coast Fastener meeting one of the evenings and share a little bit about their program with our members and possibly talk about some other topics relevant to the industry right now. And they accepted the invitation, and we will have a meeting. I think the date is November 21st. It's a Thursday before Thanksgiving.
You're getting back on food subject here, but
you never stray too far away from that. A little something else I will add is on behalf of the NCFA, I'm the person that is involved in the Fastener Industry Coalition, and they're trying to revive that group to some degree. It's been around for a number of years. I think it started back when the Fastener Quality Act was thrust upon our industry. And the Fastener Industry Coalition had a meeting recently, wanted to have a follow-up, and I made the suggestion that they come to Cleveland, Ohio for one of the other meetings at the same time that we're having the gentleman from the Fastener Training Institute. And for some unknown reason, they accepted the invitation to come to Cleveland in November. So we will be having one of our follow-up meetings in November in Cleveland, and kind of supporting, PacWest sponsors the Fastener Training Institute. So again, I like to think we're working with one of the other organizations, and then by chance, I drag somebody from every other organization into town to join us for that meeting. So we'll have representatives from all over the country.
Yeah, you're right. I remember the Fastener Industry Coalition from the Fastener Quality Act, which fortunately, we haven't had to write about that in over 10 years, I'm glad to say, because we used to have to cover it quite a bit. But now, in this Fastener Industry Coalition, there's associations from all over the country. That's what you said? It's not just Midwest guys?
Correct. Absolutely, and included in that also is NFDA, IFI, and Wi-Fi, I believe, is also going to be participating in future meetings as well.
Now, is there any particular subject that's at the forefront that you can share with us, or is it all kind of under wraps at the moment?
You know, I think you're right. To some degree, it's under wraps. I'm not the spokesman or the communications person, but I will say this. I think every one of the associations realizes and recognizes some associations have particular strengths they could share with other associations so we don't have to duplicate efforts. There's probably things that we could work on together, come up with some interesting programming that doesn't exist now. And one of the things they're very, very sensitive to is, you know, each regional organization has their own personality, their own programs, and they want to, you know, make sure as they go forward, everyone's very comfortable that they're not looking to take away anything from anybody, but more so they want to, you know, try and put together synergies, see where they can work together. For instance, the North Coast doesn't really have a training program, so it makes sense for us to look to people like Pac West or Midwest who already have training, maybe coordinate some programs with them rather than try and create something completely new. We have other strengths that we might offer, but it doesn't make sense to use our time and effort to try and duplicate something that exists somewhere else where we could partner with them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And you're right, all the regional associations have their little their niche, and they have their own personalities and their own benefits to their regional members. But then, you know, there are things that make sense that you guys can piggyback off of each other when it's an advantage like this training program. Now, I understand this training week that or this session that's going on in Cleveland. It's a whole week of training, but then you guys are just taking a little slice of that to give your members a taste of what the training week is like. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I was really impressed with their program, and I really did. You know, I feel like I learned an awful lot, and I just thought with these gentlemen coming to town already, I wanted to be able to offer, you know, just an evening with them to the rest of our membership. And, you know, some of the events we do are social and networking, and others, you know, are more technical or plant tours. I've already had several people from the area. When I told them who was coming to that meeting, they showed interest. They're not necessarily maybe guys who want to go to the golf outing or do some of our social programs, but there's definitely an interest in talking to, or at least listening to these gentlemen, trying to have a well-rounded schedule for our membership.
Yeah, well, it sounds good. I mean, you guys are definitely reaching out, and I think you're getting more active than you have been in past years, so that's good to see. It's good to see the industry outreach into other associations as well as providing services for your members.
Yeah, and I guess I'd like to also say, so far, you know, I want to tip my hat to Nancy Rich. The Midwest group has been very receptive to the idea of working together. That's how we came up with the new core tour last year. Nancy is, you know, so receptive and willing to talk about anything that makes sense for us to work together. So she's just been real good about recognizing, you know, that there are some synergies there. And I'm sure the other groups would too. They just happen to be geographically pretty close to us. So that one made sense.
NCFA have any plans in October for the Las Vegas show?
Well, we don't have anything planned there, although the Fastener Coalition is planning a meeting. I'm not sure of all the details on that quite yet.
Good. Well, we'll look forward to hearing what happens there, and I think everybody, you know, is pretty busy in Las Vegas, so that's maybe why you don't have any separate activities there. But it sounds like you guys are doing a lot, and we want to thank you for your service to the industry, to your association, as well as to the Fastener Industry Coalition.
Glad to hear it. And one other thing, I know there's a group of people trying to promote Thursday night at the end of the show after you go on to dinner. If you don't have anything to do, go to the Bourbon Room in the Venetian. There's many people trying to spread the word. Hang out at the Bourbon Room at the end of the night. You'll find a bunch of people there. Last year we did that. But last year was just overflowing with Fastener people. And I know there's, you know, a lot of different groups getting involved in that this year trying to promote it. So absolutely make that invitation to anybody who's listening.
All right, that sounds good. Fasteners and bourbon. I imagine there's some beer there too, so that sounds like a good mixture. Thursday night in Las Vegas. All right, good. Well, Marty, I want to thank you for joining us, and I'll let you get back to your journey over to the Yankee Stadium, and I hope you have a good result with the game.
Thank you very much. I have to get back in. I think they might still be working on dessert, and I might still be able to get a bite or two. So
yeah, you want to hurry in and get that. That was Marty Nolan of the RL English Company, a manufacturer's representative firm serving the fastener industry and a Cleveland sports fan just like me. Marty is also the president of the NCFA, and he has an article appearing on pages 126 and 127 of the October issue of Fastener Technology International magazine. Next up, today's top fastener newsmaker headlines. Annixter Fasteners is now operating a new facility in Brazil to support the growing OEM fastener demand in the Sao Paulo region. Annixter has a 100-person team working in Brazil, including engineers and supply chain specialists, as well as 2 full-service warehouses of fasteners located within 60 miles of each other. Screw Products Incorporated of Gig Harbor, Washington, has introduced a new line of drywall screws available in 6 sizes. These new drywall screws are available for delivery in 1 and 5 pound jars, bulk pails, 50-pound boxes, and full containers. Southwest Fastener in Phoenix, Arizona has acquired the Bolt Company of New Mexico, which is based in Albuquerque. Under the terms of the agreement, the employees, inventory, and manufacturing operations of the Bolt Company of New Mexico are expected to move to Southwest Fastener's current Albuquerque location. The Bolt Company has 4 employees with over 50 years of combined fastener industry experience. Lee Truitt, inside sales and purchasing. Dean Johnson, shipping and manufacturing. Frank Dales, outside sales and order compliance. And John Barnhill, owner and manager. Southwest Fasteners provides fasteners from 5 product divisions: construction, solar, waterworks, industrial maintenance, construction, and prefab. Wurth Service Supply, a fastener distributor based in Indianapolis, Indiana, has filled 7 key positions since August as it works towards a goal of doubling its sales. The appointments are Jason Talley, Vice President of Sales, Ken Misch, Vice President of Operations, Joanne Hushin, Purchasing Manager, David Miller, Quotes Manager for the Western Region, Teresa Rust, Key Account Manager in the Energy Sector, Jeff Diller, New Business Development Manager, and August Elliott, Regional Sales Manager for the Southern Region. Tracy Lehman from Pacific Warehouse Sales is the newly elected president for the Pacific West Fastener Association located in Los Alamitos, California. Other elected officers are Rick Peterson of All West Components and Fasteners as vice president, and Dallas Puckett of Valley Nut and Bolt as the re-elected secretary and treasurer. New PacWest board members are Kevin Chavez of Porteous Fastener and Tim Roberto Jr. of Star Stainless Screw. Continuing board members are Christine Albertalli of H.W. Eckert, Josh Glazer of Glazer & Associates, Jennifer Harder of Empire Bolt and Screw, and Garth Jacks of Copper State Bolt and Nut. And our top newsmaker headline is that the James Walker Rotobolt Company in the UK is investing $645,000 in new plant and equipment to enhance its fastener production capabilities. The company has doubled its turnover in recent years, with the main growth coming from the energy sector. Some of the new equipment will allow for the production of larger diameter bolts, as well as for the processing of more exotic alloys. In addition, the company's first overseas plant will soon begin production in Taiwan to meet exceptional Asian demand of rotobolts. Finally, let's turn to the back page for a report on truth in numbers. I took one accounting class in high school and another in college. The subject matter was fairly straightforward and slightly interesting, but I was struck by side comments in class that accounting practices could be conducted to get the numbers to represent different versions of the same story. I often think of this when I get financial press releases, as many attempt to direct the reader's attention away from poor results by presenting numbers and information in a non-straightforward way. I don't like the gimmicks or complicated presentations of numbers. For financial press releases, I just want to know the final scores on sales and net income. The same thing goes for government reporting of financial numbers. Lately, our president and some congressional leaders are going around saying that they have cut the deficit in half in just 4 years, and that the government can't cut spending anymore. I thought, is this really true? First, I found articles on both sides of the issue, but then I decided to look at the actual accounting spreadsheets on the White House website to see the true numbers. In 2008, we had the highest deficit to date of $459 billion, the 7th straight deficit going back to the year 2002. In 2009, the deficit exploded to $1.4 trillion and stayed right around $1.3 trillion for the years 2010, 11, and 12. In 2013, which is obviously not complete yet, the deficit is estimated to be in the range of $600 to $900 billion. So the truth is that the estimate for the 2013 deficit is about half that of the $1.4 trillion world record deficit set in 2009. But 40% higher than the highest non-Obama year deficit ever recorded. In other words, this would be like an alcoholic binge drinker cutting back from 2 cases of beer per night to just 1 case. By the way, just wait until Obamacare gets going next month, because no one is even close to estimating the true cost of that legislative disaster. This has been Mike McNulty of Fastener Technology International, bringing you the Fastener News Report. Remember to send your news, pictures, comments, corrections, or complaints to me at mcnulty@fastenertech.com.
What's it worth to you? Marc Strandquist is up next. It's Fully Threaded. When top quality and outstanding service are at the top of your list in fastener suppliers, turn to Stellfast. Since 1976, Stellfast has grown to become an industry-leading importer and manufacturer of the highest quality industrial fasteners, specialty items, and automotive parts. Our array of facilities across North America and in Asia, along with full quality control labs and ISO 9001-2008 certifications, ensure the highest quality parts, and at Stellfast, they're delivered with undisputed service excellence. We're family-run and dedicated to your success. Our customers have come to depend on the expertise of our staff and the quality of our products. We also offer a wide range of secondary services to meet some of the toughest requirements you might have. Contact Stellfast today through our website at www.stellfast.com and put us to work for you. Stellfast. Service you deserve, people you trust.
Hi everyone, it's Brian Musker. If you're listening to Fully Threaded, then you're no doubt aware of the FCH sourcing network found at fastenersclearinghouse.com. You've probably also heard about our legendary scrubber software that makes listing your inventory on FCH a snap. But have you heard about the new FCH SmartLink interface? With SmartLink, users of Business Edge, InSequel, and Distribution One have a new weapon in the war against excess inventory, because each of these platforms now links directly to the FCH scrubber system through an automated interface. The best part is that this new tool is available at no additional charge to FCH members who use Business Edge, InSequel, or Distribution One. With SmartLink, you can keep your inventory listings up to date with the click of a button, so it's a win-win for all FCH users. The new FCH FastLink interface is really big news, and we'll be thrilled to have your company using it. Business Edge, InSequel, and Distribution One users should contact their software provider for details, or just call me, Brian Musker. You can reach me through the FCH website at www.fastenersclearinghouse.com. That's fasteners with an S, and the S is for scrubber.
First, there was fire, and man said,
"Fire good."
Then there was the wheel, and man said,
"Wheel good."
With the invention of the wheel came the need for fasteners, and man loudly exclaimed,
"Buckeye good."
Buckeye Fasteners, providing quality products since the dawn of man. The preceding message was brought to you by Buckeye Fasteners and the Ohio Nut and Bolt Company, proud Fastener show sponsors of Old Rusty Bolt Beer, official beer of the Traveling Salesman.
Tell 'em Grog sent you. Ugh.
Hi, this is Aaron Shushan with Specialty Sales. You're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
We just heard some big news on the Fastener News Report regarding Wurth Service Supply, adding staff and setting some lofty sales targets. Our next guest will be able to elaborate on that story. He's the Executive Vice President of the Wurth Group. He's Marc Strandquist, and he joins us again on Fully Threaded. Marc, thank you for joining us again.
Good morning, Eric. Pleased to be with you.
Seems like every time you're on the program, there's some earth-shattering headlines associated with it, and that's the case this time now. Since we last spoke with you, you've been elevated. You're kind of the head honcho for what's going on here in the U.S. with Wurth, and congratulations on that. As I just mentioned, you could probably elaborate what's going on Wurth Service Supply and probably on a lot of other things going on.
Okay, well, thank you, Eric. Yeah, pleased to be on the show and to talk a little bit about what we're doing. The Wurth Group, at the high level, has set some high goals in terms of sales growth for between now and the year 2020. Every 10 years, our owner, Professor Reinhold Wurth, establishes a vision for how far he'd like to see the company grow. And our vision for this decade is to reach 20 billion euros in sales by the year 2020. Currently, last year, we finished at a $10 billion level, so that basically means from now until the 2020, we need to double in size. And so that's what matches up with the Wurth Service Supply goals, is to honor the vision that our owner has, is to put the resources in place and the processes in place to allow us to grow by double between now and then. And so we've been able to attract some very high quality people. We're doing a lot in terms of reviewing our processes and see what we can do to handle that kind of capacity growth. So there's a lot of exciting things going on internally within the company. This also impacts the other companies. There's 6 industrial distribution companies that the Wurth Group owns here in North America. We have Wurth Adams up in Minnesota, Wurth Snyder Bolt in Louisville, Wurth Revcar located in Richmond, Virginia. We have Marine Fasteners in Orlando, Florida, and Wurth Action Bolt in Riviera Beach, Florida, which is basically close to Miami. So all the companies have the same type of challenges and opportunities to make sure that we're doing what we can to support the professor's vision.
Now, I noticed you didn't mention DOCA in there. Where does that fit? Because one of the recent times we spoke with you, you were working closely with that company.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm responsible for 9 of the companies now. I had the 3 hot-forming manufacturing companies, the DOCA facility in Norway, Cardinal Fasteners in Cleveland, and then the DOCA Auburn Hills, Michigan location. That stayed the same as of July 1st, and they added 6 companies to my portfolio to provide the oversight and strategic planning and work with the individual companies in order to make sure we achieve the goals. So that's still in place.
Wow, you've got a full plate, that's for sure. I have a little personal experience with this expansion movement, and you mentioned attracting quality talent to your team. My former bass fishing tournament partner, Joe Poplinski, was based here in the Chicago area, and you guys snapped him up, and now he's up in Minneapolis. And I lost a bass fishing partner, but I guess it's all for the greater good of the fastener world, right?
Well, the greater good for what we call WINA, which is the Wurth Industry Network in North America. And Joe's been an excellent addition not only to the Wurth Adams team, but he'll be working more and more with all the different Wurth companies as we share information and join resources and, again, put into place some processes and procedures that are going to help us grow profitably between now and 2020.
Well, this is obviously an exciting story, and I'd just like to open the floor to you. If there's any strategies or any ideas that you'd like to share, I'm sure the fastener world would be thrilled to hear about that, Marc.
Well, I appreciate that. As we look to double in size within North America, obviously organically, meaning growing from within, is our primary focus. But we're also looking now as we try and find ways to strengthen the network that we have here in the United States and Canada and Mexico. We're also going to be looking at acquiring companies as well. As you look east of the Mississippi River, the Wurth Group has a heavy saturation level, and we're very pleased with the development and the sales growth opportunities. So for us, we'll be looking west of the Mississippi in terms of companies that could make a good fit for us. And we also might found a company and just start from scratch over the next 7 years, but we do feel that, we're going to look for profitable companies. We're going to look for companies that have strong management teams. We want to continue the Wurth Group culture of, we want management teams that are going to be very entrepreneurial, that are very independent, but also we want them to be able to work well within the Wurth Group culture, in terms of working together with the sister companies and doing the things we need to do. We think it's really important, and we put a lot of value on each of the Wurth Group companies here in North America and their ability on a geographic basis to really have contact with the customers and be independent. But what we need to do is for the stuff that is below the surface that the customer doesn't see, we're going to be doing a lot more work of working together on sourcing, logistics, those types of things that will help us be more competitive and provide our customers the value that we know we need to provide.
So you're looking to expand by adding some entities and by adding some geography, and you're going to do it through acquisition or just organically if need be. Is that a pretty fair summary?
Yeah, each company will be responsible for trying to achieve the goal of doubling by 2020, and they're going to each be responsible and at the local level make decisions on what type of people they want to add to the company, what type of processes and structures they want to add in order to be able to sustain that type of growth, and again, to do it in a profitable way.
Okay. And will you continue to focus on the same types of markets that you're currently focused on, or are you going to do some expansion in that area as well?
Well, as you look at our traditional business, we are what I would call an OEM supplier. People that assemble things, people that manufacture products. We supply the assembly materials, whether that's a nut, a bolt, a screw, cable ties, a variety of products in order to help people build things. One thing that we are going to be expanding more and more is to be able to try and provide all those elements, as well as what we call the backdoor solutions within a plant, which is MRO products, vending machines, those type of things. That's an area of growth for us that we're just now starting to tap into.
That's interesting that you mentioned the vending area. We've talked a lot on this program about the success that Fastenal has had, and I'm not, to tell you the truth, sure what other companies are doing that right now, but it seems like a very wise move if you're in that MRO space. Do you have any kind of an underlying strategy for that, or is that just kind of getting underway?
We've been developing it throughout the summer. In Europe, they've advanced it a lot farther, but we have a lot of great competitors out there. Fastenal is one of them. That we need to make sure that we can compete. Our differential that we feel we're going to do is we want to be able to provide the best-in-class service, the best-in-class products, and enable our customers to be more efficient, that as they build or assemble or manufacture products, that we can help be a good partner to them and help them be more profitable and be more efficient.
Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. You mentioned competition. Obviously, everybody everywhere in every industry has to operate in a climate of competition, unless I guess you're working for the government. But in our industry, we're kind of in an unusual position because there's been a whole lot of supplier consolidation going on. And I wonder if you could speak just in general terms to that climate, if you see this as, in some ways a more positive thing, more of an opportunity situation. But how does the narrowing of the supplier climate affect Wurth, would you figure?
Well, that's a good question. I think that, we're going to go through another cycle here over the next 2 or 3 years where there'll be some acquisitions and there'll be mergers as people continue to try and be more efficient and consolidate resources in order to survive within the marketplace. I mean, this has gone on for every decade since really post-World War II. And even when I started in the industry in 1986, there's been a huge consolidation, and whether it's distribution or manufacturing. But I think that that's going to continue. It's a natural part of things, and some of those mergers are going to be successful, and some are not going to be so successful. So it's really not a criticism of the fastener industry, and I think that doesn't matter what industry you're in, that you're going to continue to see these things. We're going to participate in a very minor way. We don't plan on making any major splashes in terms of acquisitions, but we are going to certainly look again at targets of opportunity and people that we feel that are, again, fit our culture of being entrepreneurial and are going to want to grow like crazy. We have the good fortune of being have a very sound capital base where we can finance growth. So I think that's kind of where we're looking. But there's going to be other ones, whether it's at the industrial distribution, selling to OEMs, whether that's master distribution. I think any of the elements of this industry are going to continue to see this, and some will be really successful, and some won't be so successful, just as it's been for the last 40 or 50 years.
Right. Well, nobody has a crystal ball on any of this stuff, but it's definitely shaking the industry up, shall we say. I think a lot of people look over their shoulder and they look at margins being a lot larger and maybe a more confident outlook in what's happening economically, and that just adds to the conversation. It adds fuel to the conversation.
Yeah, there's so many markets out there that are part of the OEM definition, and some are doing great, some are not so great. And I think overall, though, there's still instability within the marketplace and our economy. You know, the recent decision by the federal government to continue pumping money into our North American economy is really very indicative that things are not as healthy as are proposed sometimes through the media and other people. I think, you know, if we still need to pump stimulus into the economy, things are not going as well as we think they are. So I think there's some concern there, and so again, that sometimes that stimulates people to buy up other companies that either try and take away competition or to buy marketplaces that they're not in today, to buy into geography they're not in today. So I think it doesn't necessarily dampen the enthusiasm for consolidation. Sometimes it might actually create a more urgent route to do so.
Yes, the Fed announcement recently to forego any quote-unquote tapering and to continue with the $85 billion a month influx of fiat currency it fueled a rally in the markets, but I think business people who know what's coming down the road as a result of this, we're not looking forward to the hangover. In other news, in terms of what the government is doing, and I have to admit I have not been keeping my pulse on this, what is the current status of the subsidies for the wind power? I know that's an area that you're very well aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. There's three topics on how our government is involving themselves within the economy in a not good way. But in terms of the wind power, you know, in January, after letting the production tax credit expire, the government did vote it in for a year, but they changed the definition, meaning before the wind power farm had to be actually running, and then they could get the tax credit. This year, it's as long as it's been started and it continuously is being worked on, you'll still be able to get it. So we're thinking that by mid next year, you know, roughly another good year from today, we should see some benefits of the wind power production tax credit, and then hopefully our government is able to find another solution besides letting it expire and then attacking it again. So things are moving along. And I think there's some positives, but, you know, that industry's having consolidation as well. I mean, I think there's probably from 3 years ago, we've seen there's half the customer base that there was from 3 years ago. You know, wow. People that have shut down their facilities and moved back to Europe. An example would be Nordex out of Chicago, had a facility in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That's now being wound down, and they're just going to go back to exporting product out of Europe throughout the globe. So I think that's an issue. I think another element of that our government's not helping necessarily is with this sequester. It's hurting the military. So some of the Wurth companies do provide products into the military market, and this sequester has not been helpful at all, and it's cut spending, and therefore consumption has gone way down. And then the last one is, you know, by not having a national energy policy. Right now, the current administration has kind of a war going on with the coal industry, and so those railroad manufacturers that built coal cars are either shut down or there's absolute minimal levels of coal cars being built, and of course those take a lot of fasteners. So those are three things that if the government would be more concerned about jobs, those would be things that could help us a lot, is to, you know, get a national energy policy and quit attacking coal all the time, you know, getting the sequester organized and the funding the government needs, and let the, you know, that marketplace expand. Those are all our you know, areas of opportunity.
Sure, makes a lot of sense. And just last Friday, I'm sure you're aware, the Environmental Protection Agency released a series of draconian restrictions on future coal plant growth, and I had no idea the ripple effect. I knew it was big, but I never thought of the coal car production. But I don't know, maybe this is the definition of trickle-down stagnation. Not good news, I don't think, on a lot of fronts, Mark.
No, generally not.
Well, a few minutes ago, you mentioned different areas of OEM, some representing areas of growth, some not so much. Where do you see the real potential out there in the market these days?
We're not looking at it as much as a specific targeted market. We're looking at it, we use the term exhausting potential of a customer. And so we're really working hard that, let's say we have $10,000 of sales at a customer but they purchase $100,000. We're putting our focus into how do we get all that business and how do we exhaust the potential sales that current customer has. There should always be the easiest sell should be to a current customer, and it's the cheapest sell. Keep your customer satisfied with very high quality, very high gold standard customer service, and then have the ability to expand your products within that current customer is where we're tapping into in terms of potential. Every market has some nuances. Every market is different in every geography, within the U.S. So you look at north and south and east and west, markets all behave differently. And so we want to look at internally that our focus is going to be exhausting that customer potential and really penetrating it and keeping the customer happy.
Well, sounds like a tried and true recipe and works as long as we've got a market to sell to, are going to be successful. Now, speaking of success, I've got to completely shift gears on you, Mark. You and I share one other passion in the world aside from fasteners, and this is a predominantly fastener-related show, so I don't have any hesitation in asking you, are you catching any muskies this season with all this work stacked up on you?
No, I'm 0 for 2013.
Oh.
I'm hoping that maybe in mid-October I might be able to go after some fall muskies, but last time I was fishing probably was in June. And other than that, been awful busy, in a positive way. I've been loving what we've got going. We have really good people throughout the Wurth organization, all of our companies. Some of them fish as well, but we got a lot on the go. We're all working together in a positive way. I really enjoy the synergies that the group has, and that's what excites me. I think that separates us from some of the other competition is, we don't have one leadership hierarchy. Each company is still very much driven by its local management. We love that, and working together with them, as peers and side by side, I think we've really been accomplishing a lot over the last 90 days as we get ready to compete. Again, we have a lot of great competitors out there. They offer great products and services as well. We just have to find ways to do it better. So, I have sworn to myself that come next year, I'm not going to miss out. I will catch a muskie next year. One way or the other, we'll get out there and make it happen.
Well, you sound pretty driven about that and the company as well. It's great to hear somebody who's passionate about their work just as they are with their main hobby, and that shines through, Mark. And I can tell you this, I have to agree with you. You do have some really hardcore fishermen in your organization. One of them, as I mentioned, being my former bass tournament fishing partner, Joe Poplinski. And let me tell you, if you get a chance, get out with him because he's a Svengali with a jig and pig.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll look forward to that opportunity.
Well, Marc Strandquist, you are the Executive Vice President of the Wurth Group. You're driving things in the right direction, it sounds. We're going to keep our eye on you, and we hope you'll join us again one of these days. But thanks for coming on with us today.
Thank you, Eric. I loved it, and good luck to you as well.
If you're worth your salt, you'll see us on the other side. And I know that you are. It's fully threaded.
Looking for package fasteners of all kinds? How about specials or unique parts that no one seems to carry? At Trinity Hardware Headquarters, we believe in parts done right, and and our new catalogue is available online at trinityhardwarehq.com, featuring over 30,000 different types of fasteners available in packaged quantities, product kits, and assortments, including hundreds of hard-to-find parts as well as the most popular inch and metric sizes. Trinity Hardware Headquarters has locations throughout the Midwest and South, and over 400,000 square feet of warehouse space with 18 million pounds of fasteners ready to fill your requirements. Our featured products include number 3 and number 7 head plough bolts, grade 5 and grade 8 carriage bolts, hook bolts, tap bolts, and nuts and washers of all kinds, plus much more. Visit our website at www.trinityhardwarehq.com or give Trinity Hardware Headquarters a call at 888-232-1010. Trinity Hardware Headquarters, for parts done right.
This is Tom Buddenbone. I am the membership chair for the NFDA and the partner in Technology Components Southwest. I'd like to invite you to consider membership in the NFDA. Some of the benefits to membership include tremendous industry networking, business education via the Institute for Trend Research, economic insights with the quarterly trend reports from a service that's provided to us, global perspective when buying and selling all over the world, tremendous benefit in information sources from Asia and Europe, gives you an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with other members, both suppliers and distributors. We offer an annual meeting that has ESPS session, which are a series of 30-minute scheduled meetings with existing companies you do business with, and more importantly, for companies that you don't do business with and want to learn a little more about. Our goal is to gain new members, both distributors and associates or manufacturers and large importers. And we also want to invite back those that have dropped out of NFDA in the past due to some of the economic issues of the past couple of years. It's a great association with great members. Please take a peek at www.nfda-fastener.org, or you can call the office for NFDA at area code 312-673-4900. Thank you again, Tom Buddenbone with Technology Components and the NFDA.
Hi, this is Hugh Hewitt for the Injured Marine Semper Fi Fund, www.semperfifund.org. Over the past 7 years, twice a year, the wonderful people who operate the Semper Fi Fund and many amazing Marines who have been the beneficiaries of the charities that have supported the Semper Fi Fund, including many thousands of individual donors, have come into my radio studio to tell their amazing stories of serving their country, of being wounded, and how the Semper Fi Fund has helped them make that transition back to recovery. Unfortunately, Bethesda and Walter Reed are full again. More and more men and women are coming back from the war injured, sometimes awfully so. We need the Semper Fi Fund to be there for these Marines and those soldiers, sailors, and airmen who served alongside of them. Please consider a gift to the Semper Fi Fund. Very low overhead, extraordinary capacity to get money where it needs to get in a hurry, and great management, including some of the senior Marines who've ever served under the flag. When you're looking for something to do that will make an impact, please check out the Semper Fi Fund. That's www.semperfifund.org, www.semperfifund.org.
Once you're in this industry, you're not getting out. Good thing there's Fully Threaded Radio. Talk radio for the fastener industry.
This is Bryn Stock from Spencer Products, your source for threaded inserts, blind rivets, and hook bolts. You're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
Brian and Eric, back with you on the online fastener party bungalow, Fully Threaded Radio. Well, Wurth has quite an aggressive growth plan there, Bri.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be interesting to see if they do some acquisitions out west or if they wind up starting companies from the ground up. But my money is that their growth plan is going to succeed. I think they're driven. I think they can do it.
Yep.
Pending a government shutdown, of course.
Well, maybe that won't affect anything outside Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's true. But really, I was thinking more about what Mark was saying about the various subsidies, the sequesters, the war on coal and that. We'll talk a little bit more about that before we close the show out. But, one thing's for sure. Here's a businessman he's got definite examples of the way his business is being hurt, or at least squeezed by what the government does. I mean, they all have, all of these programs have consequences.
Right. And since there's so little business experience in the government part of Washington, D.C., they don't really have any idea. It doesn't matter if you're a local activist. If you're running a company, it's a different sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot harder when it gets out of the theoretical. And Marc Strandquist is a practical, hands-on guy when it comes to fasteners or muskies. I hope he winds up getting that muskie in October, like he said. And, of course, we got our trip coming up here in a couple of days. We're going to wrap up our season as well.
Right.
And we're going to get ready to wrap up the show here. So thanks to Marc Strandquist for joining us today. Also to Pam Berry and Jennifer Friel of the Wi-Fi Group. We'll see them in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And as usual, Mr. Mike McNulty. He did a great job today, Mike. And joining him on the program was from the RL English Company, Marty Nolan. The title sponsors of today's edition of Fully Threaded Radio were Stelfast. For service you deserve and people you trust, it's Stelfast. And Trinity Hardware Headquarters. Trinity, for parts done right. Hey, our other sponsors were Buckeye Fasteners, Fastenal, Volt Industrial Plastics, and Solution Industries, home of Solution Man. Hey, folks, you can reach out to us anytime. Our email address is ftr@fullythreaded.com. We're also out there on Twitter under the handle Fully Threaded.
Right, and remember that you can, the easiest way to listen to the podcast is by downloading it to your phone, or iPad, I guess, if you want to do that. The links to do that are on the site. Just click on the link and it'll set you up, okay? And as the little apps have got better, you can actually manage one of these podcasts on a phone reasonably easily now.
Yeah, the software has really improved during the time we've been doing this podcast, and I'm very glad to see it.
Yeah, thank heavens, you could say.
Well, as we wind down the show today, I mentioned that I wanted to make a comment about some of the government programs that are going on, so-called, and their impact on business. And, of course, this is a recurrent theme on Fully Threaded. We mentioned that we like to get feedback, and out of all the podcasts we've ever done, the episode that gave us the most response and probably the most vociferous responses was the one we did where we were making fun of global warming. You remember that, Bri?
Yep.
It's a real hotbed issue for a lot of people. And no matter what side of this issue you come on, you've got to look at facts. And I think that a lot of the people who truly believe the official party line that global warming is being caused by carbon emissions, carbon is somehow a pollutant, and this is all really going to justify a lot of these closures of energy plants and coal mines and so forth. I would just challenge you. Get out there and do some homework. You know, the IPCC, which is the United Nations Panel on Climate Change, is just issuing its fifth, they call it an assessment report.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they are now currently openly admitting that for 17 years there's been no warming. Well, 16 years, 10 months, I guess, officially, the way they measure it. And the really wild part of this whole thing is that they're acting as though the problem is exactly as they predicted it years ago. I mean, this is so corrupt. I mean, this corruption is at such a grand scale. I think most sane people, they just can't believe that this is happening. And they're using it as a justification to shut down plants, as I said. That's got all kinds of ramifications for the fastener industry. But as time goes on, and it's going to hit us very soon, everyday people are going to start seeing this really affect their lives and their lifestyle in a very big way.
Well, at least the basic cost of electricity has got to go up. It can't do anything but that. It's the cost of running a company, if it's using any electricity at all, will change as well. But I noticed that they're not quite so much talking about the global warming now. They've changed much of the terminology to climate change, okay?
Right.
That can mean changing for the better or for the worse. They don't have to specify which.
Well, in the same way that socialized medicine is not about improving society, it's not about improving medical care or expanding it to a wider group of people. It is not what socialized medicine is about. The war on energy, the war on carbon dioxide is not about the environment either. The people who are doing this are very well aware that it's a scam, and they're doing it for control. And what I would suggest to people who are believers in this whole global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it, get out there and read a book called Climategate by Brian Sussman. It's Sussman. We've recommended this book on the subject before. And take a calm, objective read about it. There's a lot of good material out there that you could absorb. This is just one example. I suggest that if you have been indoctrinated into the global warming mindset, there's no harm in changing your mind and absorbing the facts. And the reason that I'm so adamant about this is because the damage, the completely unnecessary damage that's being visited on us for purely fraudulent reasons is it's going to crush us. We've got to spread the word to people who really are on the bubble and they really don't know for sure. And they've been shamed or shouted down into just going along with the flow. This cannot go. This just can't go, Bri.
Yeah. Well, it's a convenient way of making sure that the industrialized nations fall over on their faces. I mean, that's, I guess, one of the long-term plans of the whole thing.
Right. And throughout history, people have been afraid of some sort of a Malthusian implosion, the destruction of humanity. And it never happens. And it's not going to happen this time as a result of CO2, which is a beneficial gas that arguably we could use a whole lot more than 400 parts per million and, feed the planet more efficiently. I mean, it's just such a crazy situation. Like I said before, it's happening on such a grand scale that people just can't believe that it's happening. And it is, folks, and it's very dangerous.
Yeah, so follow Eric's advice. Yeah, pick up the book. It's a good read.
Climategate by Brian Sussman. And if you see me in Vegas, ask me if you can borrow my copy. And if anybody out there would like to come on the podcast and discuss this, we will be civil about it, but we will just have a debate, and I would love to do that. We haven't been able to find one person to take us up on that request. So if your view of all this varies with ours, hey, let's talk about it. That's the whole purpose of this forum. Well, what do you say, Brian? You think people got their money's worth out of this little diatribe? Or?
Money's worth in spades.
Well, at the risk of creating my own filibuster, why don't we put this episode of Fully Threaded Radio in the can?
Hey, till next time, folks.
For Brian Musker, this is Eric Dudas. Get out there, sell some screws, read up about climate change, and we'll talk to you next time.
Fully Threaded Radio is a production of Fastener's Clearinghouse. Music provided by Audionautics.
I can't think of anything else to say at the moment. Okay?